Now here's the point. I say, of course, you've supported my very point. Both evolutionists and creationists' statements about the design and purpose of the universe and nature must of necessity be a philosophical line, because there is no means. There's no means by which true scientific evidence can be arrived at, because such evidence is neither wholly observable nor wholly repeatable nor wholly falsifiable. And this guy goes on, however, the notion at the heart of today's intelligent design movement is that the indirect intervention of an outside designer can be demonstrated by the very existence of complex biochemical systems. And I maintain if a complex biochemical or other kind of system cannot gradually evolve because the time involved would be greater than the supposed age of the universe, then it demands an intelligent designer, because the probability of their evolving is too long. Longer than the supposed age of the universe. I don't think they've ever admitted that. And you got one particular life form in view that takes more than the universe is old to evolve, but then the next one had to evolve further stages, one after the other, because they don't all exist at once, you claim. Well, you're out of luck. Here we go. What even they acknowledge is that their entire scientific position rests upon a single assertion that the living cell contains biochemical machines that are irreducibly complex. Yeah, and there are other assertions which creationists make as well. He's just trying to destroy your argument by irrational accusations. For example, the worldwide flood, of which evidence is everywhere on the planet, testifies to a recent creation, which evidence would have destroyed the fossil evidence of evolution in a very short time, if there was evidence in the first place, which thus demands an intelligent designer to create the universe so quickly. But one assertion at a time, please. And the bacterial flagellum is the prime example of such a machine, one of the innumerable examples. To refute one is not to refute them all. Each one must be adequately examined. Such an assertion, he goes on to say, as we have seen, can be put to the test in a very direct way if we are able to search and find an example of a machine with fewer protein parts contained within the flagellum that serves a purpose distinct from motility. The claim of irreducible complexity is refuted. Not so! Apples and oranges. And intelligent designer is not refuted just because he created a particular design with multi-purposes. Yeah, we say it all around. Now, factories do that with cars. Yeah, some automobiles, some vehicles are used for one purpose, some for another. Similar design. Some have less components. Oh, that evolved from the one into the one that's more complex. So the Ford evolved into the Toyota. We can do that too, but there's two separate species. And the porpoise, for example, does not need all the blood clotting system components that the humans have. Different environment, different species. Coexist right now. One didn't evolve into the other. I expect a porpoise come up on the shore any day now. A baby porpoise, grows up with legs. That's in the movies. So intelligent designer is not refuted just because God, created a particular design with multi-purposes. I would think what he did was rather intelligent and amazing, wouldn't you? As we have also seen, the flagellum does indeed contain such a machine, a protein-secreting apparatus that carries out an important function, even in species that lack the flagellum altogether. But that doesn't change. It's still apples and oranges. The scientific idea rises or falls on the weight of the evidence. Yes, and you haven't provided evidence. You're just speculating and not proving your case with evidence, with experimentation. So the scientific idea rises or falls in the weight of the evidence, and the evidence in this case of the bacterial flagellum is absolutely clear. And the evidence is that a particular design has a number of variations in it, which performs a number of functions in a number of species. That's rather intelligent, don't you think? Doesn't that refute an intelligent designer? Does that no. Not even if you can figure out that the species might evolve before the universe is old. Otherwise, but usually this takes a lot longer, and then you have other things to go. Like you got bacterium, all the stuff between bacteria and humans. Many times, the universe will be exceeded in estimated age. Otherwise, there needs to be someone who can do it faster, right? Okay, let me put my battery's low. All right. And as an icon of anti-evolution, the flagellum has fallen. I say only if you can provide the stages of evolution in this amazing microscopic engine that seems as complex as an automobile. It does. It's got all kinds of weird things that act as if there's an intelligence when to turn it on, when to turn it off, and turn it, and so on. The very existence of the type 3 secretory system shows that the bacterial flagellum is not irreducibly complex. I wrote, more than one function of this system is more than one species in more than one species is not what irreducible complexity is referring to. How did that system evolve in the one species in view? Stage by stage. Not two species together existing at the same time that have some similarities and a lot of differences. How did that system evolve in the other species in view is the issue, and in how much time. If that time is longer than the universe is old, you're out of time. Then look for another solution. You have not provided this all-important information. You constantly avoid that. I argued with a guy in the locker room today after swimming, and he had nothing. He never stayed on point in context. Same here. It also demonstrates more generally that the claim of irreducible complexity is scientifically meaningless, constructed as it is upon the flimsiest of foundations, the assertion that because science has not yet found selectable functions for the components of a certain structure, it never will. I am going to stick with what is the best explanation we have so far until something better comes along. So far, we have a very complex universe in which you have not fully explained every detail for over 150 years. It appears so far to be left up to an intelligent designer over a very short period of time. Catastrophism you seem to lean towards, because some things just don't happen unless it happens quickly, especially because of the overwhelming evidence of a worldwide flood that would have destroyed the fossil record if there was one, and produced its own because of all that water and sediment. A recent creation demands an intelligent designer. In a final analysis, he says, as the claims of an intelligent design fall by the wayside, its advocates are left with a single remaining tool with which to battle against the rising tide of scientific evidence. That tool may be effective in some circles, of course, but the scientific community will be quick to recognize it for what it really is, the classic argument from ignorance dressed up in the shiny cloth of biochemistry and information theory. I say, you state that creation is wonderfully complex and so far beyond comprehension to explain in detail, species by species. How does that rule out an intelligent designer? Wow. When three leading advocates of intelligent design were recently given a chance to make their case in an issue of Natural History magazine, they each concluded their articles with a plea for design. One wrote that we should recognize the design inherent in life in the universe, another that design remains a possibility, and another that the natural sciences need to leave room for design. Yes, it is true, design does remain a possibility, but that the type of intelligent design of which we speak, not the type. Why not? Can you prove that there is not an intelligent designer of some sort until you can explain evolution a bit better? You haven't found any missing links. As Darwin wrote, he writes, there is a grandeur in an evolutionary view of life, a grandeur that is there for all to see. Right. Survival of the fittest. Human degradation. Ah, wonderful. Regardless of their philosophical views of the meaning and purpose of life. Wow. Creationists in the Bible itself have a wonder about the marvelous creation that appears before them. They consider it so incredible that there must be some marvelous creator responsible for its beauty and unfathomable complexity. They don't fathom it, and response for a solution for all the deaths and disasters that nevertheless have occurred throughout the ages, by human hands largely. The solution is quite plausible if there is an intelligent designer. So far, evolution has not promised an offer for this solution. I do not believe, even for the instant, he says, that Darwin's vision has weakened or diminished the sense of wonder and awe that one should feel in confronting the magnificence and diversity of the living world. Rather, to a person of faith, it should enhance their sense of the Creator's majesty and wisdom. Against such a backdrop, the struggles of the intelligent design movement are best understood as clamorous and disappointing double failures rejected by science because they do not fit the facts. Wow. Actually, creation does fit the facts, especially since there is not enough time for the universe to have evolved from its beginning by a random selection, especially since the worldwide flood demands a recent universe, and having failed religion because they think too little of God. What? Explain. Are you writing of a God who lets death and random selection go on for billions of years? Or, according to the Bible, the God who created everything out of nothing into a grand and perfect universe, and then allows mankind to have his way and mess it up, and then provides a Savior to restore to all as it was originally created, allowing all mankind to participate in that salvation by a moment of faith alone in his Son, Jesus Christ alone. No, I don't think that's less. The God of the Bible is far more than you think. See, he's not even got a good sense of what the Bible is. There we go.